Here's your wrestling news for July 19th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: what happened with John Cena after Money in the Bank 2021 went off air? Next appearance of Cena revealed. Matt Riddle addresses report of Goldberg's WWE return. Impact Wrestling screwed up using No Way Jose's WWE name at Slammiversary. Spoiler, former WWE star to receive a push in Impact. Why do you guys cheapen wrestling? Vince McMahon. There will be a big debut on WWE Monday Night Raw. Charlotte Flair flips off crowd at WWE's Money in the Bank 2021 when Becky Lynch chant starts, fans react. Kevin Nash gave special training to current WWE wrestler at WWE Performance Center. Peacock streaming issues mar WWE Money in the Bank 2021. Get a DUI trends after Usos title win at WWE Money in the Bank 2021, and more. We are kicking off with Money in the Bank 2021, which was WWE's first pay-per-view since welcoming fans back. After the main event, where Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeated Edge thanks to a big assist from Seth Rollins, Reigns said that there was no other option than to acknowledge him before being interrupted by the returning John Cena. Cena and Reigns didn't come to blows, but John made his intentions clear, and after weeks of rumors, the pair are clearly on the road to a Universal title collision at SummerSlam on August 21st. Cena's return was a long time coming, as we actually couldn't see him since WrestleMania 36, and Big Match John hasn't wasted time addressing the crowd. Immediately after Money in the Bank went off air, Cena spoke to the thunderous live crowd, commenting how this same crowd for years would tell him he sucks. Pointing out an "if Cena shows up we cheer" sign, Cena confirmed his return, saying this wasn't a one-night-only thing, but the first night of his comeback. Thanking the fans for all their support, Cena closed his promo by saying he missed everyone and we won't have to wait long to see him again. After his promo, WWE confirmed that Cena will be on tonight's Raw, kicking off the show in Dallas, Texas. After over a year away, John's return was a long time coming, and we're excited to hear what else he has to say on tonight's edition of Raw. Cena will be on tonight's Raw, but he's not the only former world champion who will be appearing. Last week, it was reported that Bill Goldberg will be returning to WWE on tonight's Raw, and this will set up a program with Bobby Lashley. One person who'd love to face Goldberg one day is Riddle, a known critic of the former Universal Champion, and on Twitter, the original bro shared his thoughts on the rumors, saying, "I heard there's somebody special coming back to Monday Night Raw this week. I'm not going to mention names and start problems. I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, I'm pretty excited." Goldberg hasn't even returned yet, and his return is already receiving backlash, with fans saying that he's done nothing to earn a shot at the almighty WWE champion, given his last match at the Royal Rumble saw him lose to then-champion Drew McIntyre. At this point, perhaps a Goldberg-Riddle match is the only way to justify the Hall of Famer's return, but whether WWE is willing to do that dream match remains to be seen. Over to Impact now, as last Saturday's Slammiversary event saw No Way Jose make his debut for the company, but there was a major botch during this segment. Introduced by Fallah Bahh as No Way Jose, it turns out that this isn't the former superstar's name, and that in Impact, he's just No Way. During Wrestling Observer Radio, it was explained how the No Way Jose name was used several times during Slammiversary, despite the term itself being owned by WWE. We doubt WWE will come after Impact for this error at Slammiversary, but between the conga line and the No Way Jose chant from the crowd, fans haven't forgotten about No Way's tenure in WWE. No Way Jose wasn't the only former superstar at Slammiversary, as during the show, a video package promoted the impending debut of Aiden English. Now we have an idea as to what English will be doing, as Fightful reports that the former superstar will debut during Impact's ongoing tapings as a heel. The current plan is for English to be given a very strong push in the upcoming Mixed Tag Team Tournament, and the July 31st Impact Homecoming special will feature the finals to crown the King and Queen of Impact. Whether the Drama King makes that name official on July 31st remains to be seen, but fans can expect a huge showing by English over a year after his WWE departure. SmackDown news, and ever since Baron Corbin lost his crown to Shinsuke Nakamura, the Lone Wolf hasn't been the same, and is even asking the fans for help. On this week's show, Corbin announced his own GoFundMe page, which isn't actually accepting donations, but just part of the story to show how far the former King of the Ring has fallen. Sadly, several wrestlers do have to use GoFundMe pages for real, usually because they're unable to afford a surgery which is usually needed due to their years in the ring. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed Corbin's new angle and how it may have stemmed from this real-life issue. He said, "I don't think they like the idea of wrestlers doing GoFundMe accounts with the idea that it cheapens wrestling. And of course, if they took better care of their wrestlers, at least the ones who wrestle for them wouldn't have to have that issue." As independent contractors, WWE superstars don't receive health insurance, and outside the company have to rely on the kindness of fans to part with their hard-earned cash. It seems that Corbin's fundraiser, which is being called a Corbin Fund Me, was WWE's dig at those performers, even if they'd rather not have to plead with fans for help. It's also worth noting that former superstars shouldn't have to go the GoFundMe route anyway, as WWE have the money and resources to help out, but obviously choose not to lend a hand. Back to Raw, and tonight's show will see the fallout of an explosive Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and we'll see a massive debut. That's according to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, who is reporting a huge debut tonight, saying this person is huge and, like Zarian himself, a fellow Texan. If that person is from NXT, then one person who fits the bill is NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez, who stands at 6 foot tall and hails from La Feria, Texas. In addition to this debut, there's talks that Goldberg is returning tonight to set up a program with WWE Champion Bobby Lashley, and with John Cena's return thrown into the mix, tonight's Raw will be an epic way to start off on the road to SummerSlam. More from Money in the Bank, which also saw Charlotte Flair challenge Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship, and things got a bit too heated for WWE's liking. In the middle of the match, a "We Want Becky" chant erupted from the crowd at the Dickies Arena, and Flair responded by flipping off the crowd. WWE tried their best to censor the gesture as the screen cut to black, but when they returned to the show, Flair still had the bird in the air, and the gesture only served to anger the crowd, who chanted even louder. Lynch was backstage during Money in the Bank and had teased appearing on the show, but ultimately did not make an appearance on screen. Instead, Lynch watched on as Flair made Ripley tap out, meaning that for the first time since 2017, the Queen is Raw Women's Champion. The match may have had "We Want Becky" chants, but ended with "This is awesome" from the crowd, even though people are clearly tired of waiting for the man to come around. In wrestling history, few big men have had more success than Kevin Nash, who dominated in the 90s with his near 7-foot frame. Nowadays, Omos is WWE's resident giant, and the Green Superstar has received some tutelage from Big Sexy himself. Speaking on the Broken Skull sessions, Nash said how he'd been working at the Performance Center with big men, but it's unclear if this was part of the training mandated by Vince McMahon. Nash confirmed that he'd been working closely with Omos, and when asked by Stone Cold if there's money in the Raw Tag Team Champion, Nash simply replied, "Yeah." At 26 years old, Omos has a very interesting journey ahead of him in WWE, and he's off to a great start, getting an education from one of the best big men to ever grace the ring. Now, WWE Money in the Bank 2021 was a huge night for the company and the fans, so it's a shame that so many people didn't get to see the show. In the United States, fans have to rely on Peacock to watch pay-per-views, but during the show, the Peacock feed started going out during the beginning of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. A spotty and glitchy feed, fans struggled to make out what was happening in the ring, a real shame considering that the ladder match is always one of the highlights of the year. As for fans outside the US, they had no problem watching the show on the traditional WWE network, meaning this was a problem on Peacock's side of things. The feed was later fixed, but fans had to go off the stream and log back in to watch the show as intended. WWE Hall of Famer and AEW commentator Mark Henry must have tuned into the show, as he tweeted that he should have a match with Peacock, promising that somebody was gonna get their ass kicked. One fan joked that WWE's dial-up connection had been ruined by a mom picking up a phone, whilst another demanded WWE not charge them for this month's subscription, as fans were understandably outraged by this major technical issue. And we're ending with the Usos, who shocked fans by becoming 7-time Tag Team Champions on the Money in the Bank kickoff show, winning the SmackDown Tag titles from the Mysterios. This title win comes as a surprise given that Jimmy Uso was recently arrested for a DUI, and that wasn't lost on fans at all. Following their big win, Get a DUI started trending as fans weren't happy that Jimmy was being rewarded after being arrested yet again. It's been reported that Jimmy is being protected thanks to his family, as WWE has big plans for The Rock to get involved, and that those plans don't include Jimmy being punished. Things weren't helped later in the show. Reigns praised his cousin main event Jey Uso, but left a silence when speaking about Jimmy's accolades, a wink to the audience about his DUI. Fans aren't happy to see Jimmy be rewarded, and whatever plans WWE is building towards, we can only hope they pay off big time down the line. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.